3 years ago, Bruno Fernandes was an unknown. Today, he's Manchester United's best player. While he's shining on the pitch, this talented player is still a mystery. Here are 8 things you didn't know about Bruno Fernandes. Number 1. His idols. Before becoming a role model himself, Bruno Fernandes was inspired by the greats. Since his childhood, the Portuguese star loved artists who impressed with their technique. When I grew up, the first player I really liked to watch was Ronaldinho. He had this kind of magic that nobody else had. He went everywhere with a smile on his face. He'd take a tackle and still be smiling. He'd give a nutmeg and have a smile on his face. If he won, he had a smile on his face. Even if he lost, he had a smile on his face. And when you watched Ronaldinho, you understood what it means to enjoy football. But that's not all. The Maya native was also inspired by another giant.
Hey, if you're watching this video, it means you love learning about little-known stories around football. You're lucky because we'll tell you a story every day on our channel. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe and turn on notifications right now to become a true football expert.
When Cristiano began to take his first steps in the national team, it was in the Euros 2004 in our home country, Portugal. So I was 9 years old. That year stays with everyone because we lost the final and we saw him crying afterwards. He was a young boy who was starting to shine, and from there, I started to watch him. Like many others, it's CR7's mental strength that impressed him the most. It was the way he worked every day, the mentality he had, the capacity he had to give 100% in every game at a high level. For me, it was like a motivation, like you always have to do better. Number 2. He started as a central defender. Before becoming a maestro compared to Andrea Pirlo, Bruno was a defender, a position he didn't choose and which could have given him a completely different trajectory. I played central defender for the most part when I started playing football. I was really good. I had a coach who said to me, if you want to be a top player, you'll need to play as a central defender. If you want to be a good player, you will be a midfielder. At the time, I didn't like to play there, but everyone was saying I was a good defender. They said I was smart, that I covered the sides. A missed opportunity? We're not so sure. Number 3. 8 is his lucky number. Since joining Manchester United, he's had the number 18 on his jersey. However, 8 is the number he holds dearest in his heart. It was a number that I loved because my father wore it when he was a player, but it's also the day of my birthday. Not to worry, the number 18 he wears for Manchester also has a lot of meaning. It's the date of my wife's birthday, and the other reason is that I grew up watching Paul Scholes playing with it. To have the same as him is incredible. The day number 8 becomes available will be a real dilemma for him. Number 4. He learned Italian by himself. Bruno Fernandes left Portugal for Italy when he was 17. He signed for Navarra after being rejected by Boavista, but the kid wasn't prepared. He didn't speak the language and suffered from serious homesickness. But he worked hard and learned Italian by himself. He put post-it notes everywhere to familiarize himself with the language. Tavolo on the table, sedia on the chairs, frigo on the refrigerator. He was very intelligent. After a month, he could already speak Italian. It was amazing. At 17, he already had great willpower. After working extremely hard for 5 years to move forward, he was rewarded. He returned to Portugal to sign for Sporting and became a star. Number 5. He has a strange penalty-taking technique. There's no doubt, Bruno Fernandes is a penalty specialist, a reputation he owes to his somewhat academic approach to taking them. Like Jorginho, he jumps right before striking the ball, a technique that confuses goalkeepers. What's your secret, Bruno? I don't have a secret. I train a lot and I always pay attention to the goalkeeper's behavior. I adapt to what I feel on the pitch and then I decide how to shoot. I don't have a specific technique. I do what seems right at the moment. However, the Red Devils player always likes to stay one step ahead. Sometimes, I change everything so the goalkeeper isn't sure of himself. It's not to scare him. Instead, it's to change the look of the game and even trick him. A gamble that works nearly every time. Of his first 30 penalties taken, he's only missed 1. Number 6. He cried when he found out he was going to Manchester. What would your reaction be if your dream club wanted to sign you? Calm? Excited? Nervous? Bruno Fernandes was overcome with emotion. When I got the call, I told my wife, my brother, my sister, my mother, and I started to cry with happiness. I'd fought all my life for this. They knew that my biggest dream was to play for Manchester. Yes, he cried. Now it's Premier League goalkeepers who are crying. Number 7. He had a poster of Stephen Ireland in his bedroom. Some of you might be asking who Stephen Ireland is. He's a former Manchester City player whose career didn't turn out as it should have. But above all, he's a midfielder that Bruno Fernandes loves. Bruno Fernandes told me that as a kid, he had a poster of me. He said that when he played Football Manager, he always signed me. I was like, you had me on a poster? And seriously, you signed me for Football Manager? Well, yes, if he told you, Stefan. It appears the two men had this exchange during lockdown because they live in the same neighborhood in Manchester. Crazy! Number 8. He humiliated his older brother's friends at football. Like many other kids, Bruno learned to play the real football in the streets, with its codes and rules where anything can happen. But the kid wasn't afraid of anything. I grew up with a brother who's 5 years older than me, and so I grew up playing with him and his friends. Most of the time, I wouldn't play because he didn't want me to play with his friends. I don't know if he was afraid that I was too good for them. I always wanted to play with the older ones, and the problem was I didn't want to just play. I wanted to be the best out of all of them. And if I need to do a nutmeg on someone, I will do it. I don't care. Behavior that could have cost him, because people don't like getting beaten by people younger than them. The older guys are mad when they see a little boy do that. Everyone starts shouting and laughing at them, saying, "Hey, you took a meg from a little boy." And then someone can come for you and kick you. So I think sometimes my brother was afraid of this, and other times he knew I was good enough to play against them, and so he just doesn't want problems. Today, it's on English pitches that this artist is painting his most beautiful work. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave us a like and please subscribe to the channel. Now, the voice is yours. Give us your ideas for new videos in the comments.